You're listening to The Rich Life Revolution with me, Michelle Cooper. My mission is to empower you to step into your next level of wealthy. You'll hear all the deets, a little bit of inspiration, and real life takeaways so that you can create your own rich life revolution. Let's dig in.
Hey girl, it's me, Michelle, your host at the Rich Life Revolution, and I am excited to share with you all my adventures when I recently traveled to Chile and Easter Island. In today's episode, I'm going to give you all the deets, all the lowdowns of this magical transformational trip and how it affected me on the inside and the outside. And if you're interested in going to Easter Island, your opportunity to do this along with me because, girl, I'm going back. All right, so let's dive in. One of the things that I decided a few years ago was that I was going to travel to amazing places in the world, not just like the seven wonders of the world or whatever that is, but really incredible places in our world and see things that I'd never seen before, that I had only seen on the National Geographic Channel. And one of those places was Easter Island. So this is the land of the Moai. The Moai are those big, huge, gigantic stone heads, and they are scattered all across Easter Island. Now, I didn't really know where Easter Island was. I wasn't totally sure where I was going. To be honest, I just saw this trip advertised in a travel group that I'm part of. And I was like, that looks exciting. I'm all in. So here's what happened. Now I'm going to give you all the goss, all the juice, like all the deets, and you're going to get to know me really well on this episode. So I fly from Vancouver, British Columbia, the very west coast of Canada, and I have to meet my group in Dallas, Fort Worth. Let me tell you, that airport has some things left to be desired. So I met up with my dear friend Artie, who I had met on my Christmas in New York trip. And we ended up figuring out that we were both on this Easter Island trip. And so we were getting in early. Our flight to Chile wasn't until the evening. And we were both there in the morning. So we met up in the airport. We went to this little bar. It was like a Dallas Cowboys airport bar thing. It was really crappy. Don't go there. It sucked. And we left after one drink. It was just not a good environment. We wandered around and we ended up in this Mexican restaurant, sitting at the bar again, having some margaritas. And I was telling Artie about a book I was reading where, like, she goes by the name Mama G. It's Regina Thomas Hauer, I think it is. And it's all about your energy and how you can attract people into your life using your energy. So I was telling my friend Artie about it. We're just like shooting the breeze while we're wasting time at this airport. And I said to her, one of the exercises in the book is to send your energy across the room to somebody and see if they notice. And so there was this really cute guy sitting across the bar from me. And I was like, I'm going to do it. Let's see what happens. And so I did. And it didn't work. He didn't look up. I was like, well, that didn't work. She goes, well, he didn't look up, but the guy beside you, like instantly his head swiveled around like he was on like The Exorcist, right? And I was like, oh. And so I took a little pause, had a little look, and thought, he's cute. So, anyways, didn't think much more of it. And we kept on drinking and eating, and more friends showed up, and it was a really good time. Now, what happened was I started chit chatting to this gentleman beside me. His name ends up being Matt, and he's super cute, and we have a lot in common, and we are getting on like a house on fire. So this was a lot of fun. He nearly missed his flight because we were talking so much. We exchanged numbers and off he went back into his world. And off I went to Chile. So flying to Santiago, I didn't realize how far it was. I thought this was a couple hours. Oh no, this was like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 hours from Dallas. I didn't realize how far south it was. I should have looked at the map. Or maybe not, because then I don't know, I might have talked myself out of it. But it was a great flight. It was fine. It was doable. Land in Santiago. Santiago is a clean ass city. Like, I was impressed. Very cosmopolitan, very clean, very nice. Was there for a couple of days and then headed off to Easter Island. Now, you have to fly to Easter Island. It's another 5 or 6 hours to Easter Island. So, like, now I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere. And you basically are. You're in the middle of the South Pacific Ocean, and there's not a lot around you. I thought that it was going to be kind of like a Polynesian kind of culture. Not so much, a little bit, but not as much as I thought it was gonna be. It was more like Indonesian kind of people, culture-wise, with a Spanish influence and some Polynesian influence. Like, it's this weird mix, but so awesome. Anyways, land was amazing, and honestly, you could feel the energy. Like, you really could feel the energy of this land, this sacred land, this quite divine feminine energy that I felt. And it was almost like I could feel it vibrating from the ground up. So there were several times when I just sat down on the grass and just soaked it all in, because it was absolutely amazing to see the Moai and to hear the stories. And I had a lot of fun with friends. So me and some friends ended up renting ATVs, and we ripped around the island here, there, and everywhere. It was gas. Oh my God. If you're going to go to Easter Island, don't bother with like a bus or a car. Just rent an ATV. Honestly, super safe. Like, this island is not heavily touristed, it's not overpopulated or anything. It's probably one of the most untouched parts of the world that I've ever been to. And I've been to a lot of places, so that says quite a bit. And what I found so awesome was the people. So the people have, again, this energy, this oneness, this sacred flow. We did go to a traditional dance show in like a like a local dance theater kind of thing. And, kind of like a hula kind of dance. Amazing. Like, amazing. I was blown away. Now, here's what this trip gave me. It gave me the inspiration to bring women to Easter Island to unlock that trapped sacred feminine energy, that divine feminine energy. I feel like a lot of us have this trapped energy in our bodies. A lot of it revolves around the root chakra, and it is really about feeling safe in the world. And when you witness and like you're around these women who are dancing in this manner, it is just mind blowing. It is to see how their bodies move, to see how they channel this energy through their bodies is amazing. And I think that women in my part of the world, in North America, need to experience this on a very authentic, sacred soil. And I think that it could possibly unlock so much potential and possibility for the women in my community. So, I am going to take a group, a very small group of 5 or 6 women to Easter Island in 2025. If you want to be in on that trip, it's going to be mind blowing. You should hit me up in my DMs. I don't even have like, I don't have like a wait list for this. I don't have a page for it. Like, I don't got anything. But what I do have is a calling. What I do have is a pull to do this. What I do have is a tug. from the universe saying, get women here. So I did set up a page, even though I said I didn't have a page. I did set up a landing page so that people could register their interest. Now, there's no commitment here. It's just saying, I want to experience a rich life experience with you. And then I would send you more details when these trips become available. So this is at richliferevolution.ca/rich life experiences. And you'll see a couple pictures there of me. You'll see what I'm going to be doing here. And I just am so excited to share this with everyone because what this trip unlocked for me was divine feminine flow. Now, part of this has cultivated itself into this fun, flirty relationship with this guy, Matt, from the airport. Okay. Now, I know you're probably all like, oh my God, Michelle, you're texting with some rando that you met in the airport. It's super light, it's super casual, it's super fun, but it has added a piece of fun flirtiness to my everyday life. And we all need a bit of fun flirtiness in our lives. Now, I don't know that I would have been open to this if something wasn't unlocked in me when I was trying to move my hips like these amazing women on Easter Island. Because, of course, they get you up on stage and, they're trying to show you how to do what they do. And I'm like, I can't do any of that. But, you give it a go and you do the things. Now, on the trip that I'm going to be taking people on, we're going to spend time with these women and we're going to learn the history of their dance. We're going to learn how to move our bodies in this way. We're going to shake, rattle, and roll all that stuck energy in our root chakras, in our sacral chakra, like all of that trauma, all of that unsafety. I know it's not even a word, but the gripping that we have in this part of our bodies, and so many of us have it. We're going to shake that out. We're going to roll that out. We're going to get to understand ourselves and feel ourselves in our body. Like, I can't wait. Now, part of this is that all of my trips will revolve around earth, air, fire, water. So there will be some experience of those four elements in every single trip that I do. And you, my sister, are going to get your own ATV. Okay. Like, how much fun is this? Oh my God. Anyways, enough about that trip because I just want to kind of share with you the wrap up of my trip to Easter Island because it really was a significant moment in my evolution and in stepping into my soul's calling and in owning my place in the world. It gave me a level of confidence that I haven't felt. I don't know if I've ever felt it before in my life. A level of certainty that I don't need to work hard. I don't need to grind away. All I need is to show up as me. Now, that's a gift, okay? And I didn't have that before. Now, maybe you have that, and that is awesome. I did not have that gift. Even though I had spent years in therapy, in coaching, in all of the things that we all do to elevate our experience and to grow as human beings. So, returning from Easter Island to Santiago, another 5-6 hour flight, this time in business class, which was amazing and awesome. And then a day in Santiago. Now, let me tell you, Santiago is incredible. I didn't get to do hardly any of the things that I wanted to do while I was there. Now, next time I go back, when I'm taking this group of ladies, we're going to do some amazingness. And part of it was a trip that my friend Liz took for the day out to these sacred pools, these like thermal pools. And I so wanted to go to that. But it was an all day trip. They had to leave at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I could not even imagine getting up that early. And so I let it pass me by. And I so wish I didn't. But here's the reminder: what is meant for you will not pass you by. You will not miss out on what is meant for you. So either it wasn't meant for me at that moment, or it's going to come back around and it will be meant for me in the next time. So please remember that. What is meant for you cannot pass you by. I promise you. Is Matt meant for me? Maybe. Who knows? I'll keep the ladies in my sights and give you the updates as they happen. But yeah, we'll see what evolves. And I'm super excited to see how this all unfolds. Have a fun and flirty day, my friends. Now, don't forget to join me next week in episode 46, where you will get all the deets from my guest, Chantel Dempsey, on creating your limitless beliefs to build your dream business. This is a kick-ass episode, and it will, I promise you, will help you transform the way you look at the world in order to transform the life that you're living. And I'm here for all of it. Mark your calendars. Next Thursday.
Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you got at least one gold nugget today. Be sure to grab your copy of the Rich Life Revolution workbook to help you set the foundation for your next level of wealthy. Get it now at richliferevolution.ca, and I'll see you later.